Hello and welcome to Advertisers Watching Ads. My name is Tom Ollerton. I'm the founder of Automated Creative, and this is a weekly show where brands watch other brands' ads and discuss what's good and bad about them. We are brought to you in partnership with Contagious, who have helped choose the ad this week, so please go and check those guys out after the show. So before we get to the creative this week, let's meet this week's guests.
Hi, everyone. I'm Bian Salins, and I'm from LinkedIn, and I'm the head of content and creative solutions.
Hi, I'm Rida. I am the marketing manager at GSK for Southeast Asia and Taiwan.
I'm Jillian Bierman. I'm an associate producer at Anheuser-Busch's in-house creative agency called Draftline.
Hi, and I'm Erica Johnson, and I'm a brand strategist at MullenLowe.
Fantastic, guys. Thank you so much for joining us today. Let's see this week's ad.
You had the better hold on to what you got. You had the better hold on to what you got. 'Cause if you think nobody wants it, just throw it away, and you will see someone will have it before you can count. 1, 2, 3. Yes, they will. Yes, he will. Yes, she will. Yes, she will.
Right, Brian, what was your reaction to that when you first saw it?
It did draw me into the story. I'll probably say that as a starting point, but I was unclear around the message IKEA really wanted to land. And if you didn't wait right till the end to see that, you would, for somebody who's not a consumer of IKEA, I would have probably dropped off early. But I did like the story.
I just really love the ad. Like, I was watching it and I'm going, I have that. I got rid of that. So, I thought it was a really great ad. But I do agree with you. Like, I thought it was not as clear as it could be about what do they want you to do with that ad. But you kind of need to know what they've been about in the last couple of years to really get that. But as an overall ad, I found it brilliant. And I thought it really resonated with me as a consumer.
At the end, it says the trash collection. And I'm thinking, oh, that feels small, right? Like, for how big of an issue it is, it feels like they're downsizing it and they only show you this small little section. And then it kind of, the call to action directs the consumer to go to a website and look up what IKEA is doing. But when it says welcome 2030, I'm like, well, what are they doing? What does 2030 mean?
Yeah.
So I do wish it was a little bit more informative in that light.
We're going to refurbish these pieces that people have thrown away, but then it also added more questions like, so are you going to these trash dumps and just picking up stuff that people have? And how is that more sustainable? So aren't you increasing your carbon footprint if you're going to the trash and picking these things out, or how are you finding them? So where are you getting them from in this trash collection? So it just added more questions for me, actually.
They've articulated 5 or 6 different bits of furniture that's been thrown away. If they're only just got, as you say, one shop with a few items in it, is this greenwashing? Does anyone think that IKEA are sort of trying to do the right thing without actually doing the right thing?
The fundamental disconnect for me is that when you have to pour a lot of money to craft a story and promote how sustainable you are as a business, there's something amiss. Like, for me, it is in the doing and the demonstrable proof that you are a sustainable business.
I think it's hard to convey, sometimes your core values and what you stand for in a 60-second slot. But in terms of sustainability, if you don't know the practices, and I think that's the harder part, because some people do the research and really dig into these companies and figure out, okay, cool, they really are sustainable from their creation all the way down to their carbon footprint and when they deliver these places. But most people, by and large, are not going to do that. So they're only relying on what they're seeing. So it might be, to some, greenwashing, and that might not even be a term that they're familiar with. So to some it might be, but then to others who really know, like Rita, okay, cool, I really like IKEA, I really want to shop there. Whereas me, I'm just like, I would have to really research that to really understand, like, what are they offering? Is this true?
I'd be actually really interested to know who were they really then targeting. Was it just the consumers that already know about, their products, what they do, or is it meant to be a much more wider reach to greenwash them maybe a little?
I don't know. I feel like there's such a big brand that they need to take responsibility in a way that it's a refresher, almost like, hey, just don't forget, like, we're doing our part as well. And I don't necessarily think it might be aimed towards anyone besides maybe themselves to reinstate the practices that they've been already doing or the goals that they have. And that's just the value and mission tied to the brand itself. But, a consumer might not know right off the bat.
There was this Mentel study on social responsibility that came out in like 2018. And so it was saying, like, a lot of consumers want people to be socially responsible, but then also in the aftermath of George Floyd, then you added another layer of social justice. How diverse is your workforce? And then organizations that had never had any relationship to diversity at all were like, let's jump on this bandwagon, and it got called out. And I feel like a lot of companies are getting caught in the same thing with this sustainability thing, because people want climate change, everything that's happening, the pandemic, coronavirus. So people are very paying attention a lot more to the environment. And so I think sometimes companies are trying to bring that audience in, even though they haven't been doing this all along. It's a nice shift though, but it depends on how developed their effort is. And so that's only, we can only wait to see what happens with IKEA in like the near future.
I wonder if that's because COVID has brought a need to be authentic, and brands, actually the thing that brands are trying to do here is come forward in finding their authentic space, but not quite knowing how to get there.
One of the things that people are more willing to accept is climate change and sustainability versus like you trying to just be, I'm just going to join this diverse space and I've never talked to these consumers before. Whereas everybody's kind of like, okay, cool, you can do this and people won't be mad at you for leaning in, even if you had no experience prior.
But I feel like people get overwhelmed with how to tackle climate change because it also seems like so out of our control, and there needs to be more collective action, and that would most likely be through government. And there are some things that we need to keep moving forward on, and it's not just plastic straws. And I think companies know that, but it's a hard issue to tackle. It's overwhelming, and you get almost a sense of dread and grief from it.
I had a question, maybe just generally for the panel. Is this perhaps more of an effort for them to increase the life cycle of products, or is it truly about sustainability and about, helping the environment? It does kind of make me wonder whether it's just because of how they've been branded.
I feel like I'm a little bit of a cynic. Like, the whole point is to make money overall. The whole point is, these are big companies. They do want to make money. That's the cynical part of it. So like you have to find that piece of pie where you can actually that balance where they're like, well, we are satisfying these people who want climate change, who are into this. And this is our consumer base. I'm sure they've done some research. They should have done some research into who their consumers are and who's buying their products. But then also on the flip side of that, we do need to make money.
Guys, I need to wrap up this show. You're doing a brilliant job of running the panel without me, which is great. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna count to three. And on the count of three, I want you to give this execution a vote out of 5 with your fingers. So 1, 2, 3. 2, 2, 3, and 3. There you have it. So Bayan, Eric, Rita, Gillian, thank you so much for your time.